Hi, my name is André and welcome at your guitar workshop. In today's lesson, we're going to look at a really amazing piece of art by Mateus Asato. The composition is called The Pain, and I heard it last week. I was completely blown away. It's just such beautiful melodies and chords, and I thought it was something really special. So that's why we're doing a tutorial this week. I've been doing a lot of Mateus Asato tutorials lately, so if you're interested in that, check the video description. There's a playlist there to all my Mateus Asato tutorials that I've done so far. For the tune, you need the capo in 7th position. However, I'm, for this tutorial, not going to be using a capo. The reason for that is that I can just call the position numbers as they're written on the tablature. You can just follow along that way, and then once you've learned it to play without a capo, you just put on the capo and just, spend a couple of minutes to readjust and you'll be fine. So let's just start with the first parts first, and then we'll get into how to play it on the guitar, as we always do. Here we go. All right, so what do? It starts off with the following chords. First one is E minor. So that is pointer finger, 2nd of D, ring finger, 4th of G, open B, and middle finger is in a 3rd of your E string. All right. Second chord, B minor over D. So that is pointer finger in 2nd of your E string, open B, ring finger in 4th of G, and then open D. And then it finishes off with this one, and it's a mouthful. So it's an A add 4 with also an added 9. All right. So you have open E, you have open B, you have 2nd position of G, open D, which is your add 4, and then you have ring finger in 4th of A. So that's actually A add 4 with C sharp in the bass. You start off playing open E, making a hammer-on in 2nd position of that E string with your middle finger, and then you go to that E minor chord, right? Now what's good to know is that thumb belongs to D string, pointer finger belongs to G, middle finger belongs to B string, and ring finger belongs to the E string in this part, right? So you play D and E together, then G, B, E. Then you switch to that B minor over D, and you play a forward roll on D and E, then G, B, E. And then you go to that A add 4, add 9 with C sharp in the bass, and you play a forward roll on A and E, then B, G, D, A. And at the end, so you have ring finger, middle finger, pointer finger, and then I just play pointer finger, like that. Okay, so. Then you get the following part. So what do? You start off playing a pickup, putting pointer finger in 2nd position of that D string, play it, make a pull off, and then have your middle finger and ring finger in 3rd of E and A, and you play a forward roll on E, A, and open D, like that, and make a hammer-on with your pointer finger in 2nd position of that D string, like this, creating a C over G. Then playing open G string, then pointer finger on 2nd of G and playing that, making a hammer-on with your ring finger in 4th, then pointer finger in 2nd of that G string, play a forward roll on D and G, right? Then you slide up quickly to 3rd, back down to 2nd, so I'm making a pull off, and then putting your ring finger in 4th of your D string, right? So what you get is an E minor 9. So that is pointer finger in second of your A string, ring finger is already in fourth of that D, and your middle finger goes to third of your B string, and you have open G and open low E. Beautiful chord. And you play open E first, and then you play B, G, D, A, right? Right, with thumb, ring, middle, pointer, pointer. Okay? And then you get the repeat, so you get this again. So, and now we get to a new section, and that goes like this. All right, so what do? The first couple of chords that you play are E minor add 9, right? So that's pointer finger in second of A and ring finger in fourth of D. And you have open E, A, D, then open G, right? And you just play E, A, D, G. Then you switch to A add 4 over E. And then for that, what you do is you have open E, then pointer finger is in second of G and ring finger is in fourth of A. And then you play G, D, A. So you play that again. But now with playing that E string, you hammer your ring finger on that fourth position of the A string, like that. Then you go to A add 11 over G. So that's basically your A add 4 over E, but now you add your middle finger in third position of your E string. Right? Then you get this chord, right, which is A add 11. So you have your pointer finger in third of your B string, pinky is in sixth of your G, and you play A, B, G, E with thumb, middle, pointer, ring finger, right? So those 3 bars, so you get All right, so now you go to the next chord, which is C sharp minor 9. All right, so that's pinky in fourth of B, ring finger in fourth of G, pointer finger in second of D, and middle finger in fourth of A. And you play A, B, G, D with thumb, ring, middle, pointer. Then you go to A major 9, 13, or A major 9 add 6, or something like that. And you play open A string, then pinky's on fourth of D and pointer finger is in first of G. So you play the D string with your pointer finger, then open B, and then middle finger plays the G string, like this. All right, so you got the... Then you hold that shape, but then you add middle finger on second position of your E string. So you put F sharp in the bass there, and you play E, D, B, G, thumb, pointer, ring, middle. Then you put your ring finger in fourth of that E string, and you play the same strings. But then when you play the G string, you remove your pointer finger, so playing open G, right? So, right? So like this, from the C sharp minor 9. Then what you do is you just keep your pinky in fourth there of the D string, put your pointer finger in third of your A string, playing C major 7 sharp 11, play A, D, G, B. So So that's thumb, pointer, middle, ring. And then you go to D add 4, right? So that's just your C shape moved up 2 frets to third position. And you do a forward roll on A and B. Then you play G, D, A. And I do that with thumb, ring finger, and then middle, pointer, thumb. Okay? So, from that E minor add 9 part, all right, so now for the next part, I'll play it for you first, and then we'll get into how to play that on the guitar. Here we go. All right, so what do? So you start off with E minor 7. Right, so that's pointer finger in 7th of A, ring finger in 9th of D, open G, middle finger is in 8th of your B string, and pinky is in 10th of your E string. Beautiful chord. And you do a forward roll on A, D, and B with thumb, pointer, and ring finger. Like that. Then you play D, G, pointer finger, middle finger. Then ring finger plays E string. After that, you play open D, like that. Right? Then you place your pinky in 5th position of your E string. You play it, and then you slide it up to 7th. And then you create a C major 7th chord. Right? And that is with pointer finger in 3rd of A string. Middle finger is in 5th of your B string, right? So you get, and then you play A, G, B, E, right? So that G string is open. Then you get this part. So what do? So you play open E, hammer on with your pointer finger in 2nd, and then when you make a hammer with your middle finger in 3rd, at the same time, you play your open E string, like this. Then you play 2nd position of that E string once more, play it, pull off to open string, and then middle finger, 3rd position, on B string, like this. Then put your pointer finger or add your pointer finger on 2nd position of your G, and you play D and G together. Hammer on with your ring finger in 4th of G, and then play that B string once more, like this. Right? So. Then you have a grace note slide from 3rd to 2nd position of the G string. So like this. Pull off to open G, and then you hammer your pointer finger on 2nd position of that G again, and at the same time, you play 4th position of A and open E string like this. Like that. Then B, G, D, A. And this chord here is that A add 4, add 9 with C sharp in the bass that we played before. Right? Beautiful chord. So, from the beginning of that section, so we got. All right, so now we go to the next part of that section, and it starts the same, but now place your pinky on 12th position of that E string, and you drag it down to 7th. play the same C major 7 chord, and then you get this part. Right? So what do you do there is you play pointer finger, second position of D, hammer on 4th with your ring finger, and then you slide it to 5th, and at the same time play your open A. Then pointer finger goes to 3rd of B, play open G, then play 4th position with your ring finger on D, right? It's like this. Then what you do is you put your pointer finger as a double stop on A and D in second position, play it and make a hammer on with your ring finger in 4th of D. Then play second position G, and then 4th position B, and then open E. So there you have a B7 at 11, right? And adding some whammy bar action, which I don't have on this guitar, unfortunately, right? So like this. All right, now for the next section. I'll play it for you first, and then we'll get into how to play that on the guitar. Here we go. All right, so what do you do there? You start off with an A power chord. So pointer finger, second position, D and G, open A. So you play A, D, G, then ring finger, 4th of that G, slide it to 5th, then put your pointer finger in 3rd of B string, and then ring finger in 5th of that string, slide it up to 8. Then what you do is you put your pointer finger on 5th of that B string, and you play it together with the D string, right? Sort of with a forward roll, and immediately make a hammer with your ring finger on 7th position of that string, right? Then you make a grace note slide from 7 to 5, like this. Then put your pointer finger in 3rd of that B string, slide it to 1st, keep it there, and play C over G, right? So that's that pointer finger in 1st of B, middle finger in 2nd of D, and ring finger in 3rd of your E string. Do a forward roll on E, D, G, and B. Make a pull off with pointer finger and middle finger, right? It's like this. So we're ending here after that pull off on a G at your pinky on 3rd of your E string. There I just play E to B. Then I go to sort of a D6 with F sharp in the bass maybe. So I got, so that's middle finger in 2nd of G, pointer finger is in 2nd of E. Do a forward roll on E, D, and G with thumb, pointer finger, middle finger. Play open B. Then what I do is make a pull off with my middle finger, and then pinky goes to 4 on D, like this. And then that is something that we are going to turn into E minor add 9, which we played before. So we play E, A, D, G, thumb, pointer, middle, ring. Moving to an E spread triad, right? So that's pointer finger in 1st of G, middle finger in 2nd of A, open E, forward roll E, A, and G with thumb, pointer, ring finger. Make a pull off with your middle finger. Then what you do is put your ring finger on 2nd of G and middle finger in 2nd of E. Right? Slide it up to 4th, both, and then add your pointer finger in 2nd of D string, creating E over G sharp, right? So like this. Then you get the following part. So what do you do there? So you have your ring finger and pinky on 5th of D and G. Do a forward roll on open A, D, G. Basically, A minor 7 is what you get there. Slide it up to 7th, then slide it up to 8th, back to 7th, and then back to 5th. Then, middle finger on 4th of G string, slide it to 5th, then pointer finger 3rd of that B string, then ring finger on 5th of that B string, slide it up to 8. Then what you play is you play a D, open D string with that string, like this. So you got, right? Then with your middle finger, make a grace note slide from 10 to 9 on the G string, and then pointer finger plays 7 on G, like this. So, and that sort of concludes that section. So that whole section. All right, so now we go to the next part, and that goes like this. This is probably my favorite part of the tune. I really like the sequence going from the G minor to F sus4 to F, and then having E flat sharp 11 to D sus4 to G to D. I don't know, I really, really like it. So what do you play? You got pointer finger in 10th of A, ring finger in 12th of D, and middle finger in 11 of B. So that's for your G minor chord. And you play A and B together, then D, G, B, right? And what's good to know is that ring finger belongs to B, middle finger with G, pointer finger with D, and thumb with your A string. So then we go to that F sus4 spread triad. So you have your pointer finger in 8 of A, ring finger in 10 of D, and pinky in 11 of B. And you play, so you play A and B together, then you play D, then you move your pinky a half step down, and you play that, and then play the D string, right? So, and this is where it turns into F. Then you get quite a bit of a stretch on that E flat sharp 11. So you have your pointer finger in 6 of A, middle finger is in 8 of D, and pinky is in 10 of your B string. And there you play A and B together, then D, G, B, like this, right? And then what you played before on F, you do the same, but now on D, right? So with your pointer finger in 5th position, chords are the same. Then you get this part. So this one here is going to be G5. So you have your ring finger or pinky on 3rd of your B string. Middle finger is on 3rd of E. You play E and B together. Then D, G, B. Then you go to F sus2 over A. Actually, that would be an F add 9 over A. And you play A, D, and B together in a forward roll. Then you play D, G, D. Then we go to E flat add 9 over B flat. And what you play there is you have your pointer finger in 5th of G, ring finger is in 6th of A, middle finger is in 6th of, E. Do a forward roll on E, A, and D, open G, then pinky is in 6th of B, and then you play the D string once more. And then we get this part. So what do you do? So after having played that E flat add 9 over B flat, you just move this shape down until your pointer finger is in second position. And you do a forward roll on E, A, and D. Make a hammer with your pinky in fourth. Then you play open G. Then you play that D string once more and make a pull off like this. Right? So that was C over G. Then you go to D flat or C sharp half diminished. So that is pointer finger in second of D, ring finger in fourth of A. You play A and B together, thumb and ring finger. Then D, G, D, pointer finger, middle finger, pointer finger. So then you go to D sus4. So you have your pointer finger in fifth of A, ring finger in seventh of D, and you play A, D, G, D, right? So, and that G string is open. You keep your ring finger in place, put your pointer finger in fifth position of your G string, middle finger goes to sixth of your A string. So this is going to be D sharp diminished. Do a forward roll on these three strings. Slide your pointer finger down to fourth. Then put your pinky on seventh of your B string, like this. All right, so you got this. Then we get a repeat of a section that we already done. So that's the section where the E minor and C major 7 chords, so like this. Another repeat. So in the end there, you play it a little differently. So when you play that, and then going to fourth with your ring finger, that's all still the same. So then you put your pointer finger again on second position of A and D, and then make a hammer with your ring finger in fourth of D. But instead of having second position of G, you have open G, middle finger in third of B, going back to open G, like this. And then you finish off with a C at 9. And then some whammy bar action. So for that, you have your middle finger in third of B, pointer finger is in third of A, and you do a forward roll on A, G, B, and E. All right, so that brings us to the last section before the outro. I'll play it for you, and then let's get into how to play that on the guitar. Here we go. All right, so what do you play there? You go on to fifth position of your A string. You play it, hammer on with your ring finger in 7, then pointer finger frets D and G in fifth, and you play that with pointer finger and middle finger. So then you make a slide from 7th to 9th, grace note slide like this. Then you play 7th position of that G string, hammer on in 9th, pull off, and then you slide to 4 and then 2, so like this. Then you make a grace note slide from 5th to 7th on the D string, right? And then you do a hammer on, then you play 5th position of your D string, make a hammer on in 7th and a pull off, so like this. then you slide to 4, and then to 2, right? So like this. Then what you do is you add your middle finger in third of your A string, and you play A, D, then you play second position of A, and then open D, right? So you got, and then you put your middle finger back in third, and you play third, second, and open, right? So playing a C triad there. And that's that. And then at the end, you have your intro again. So that's all exactly the same. And we get the repeat. Right? So at the very end, after that fourth position of your D string, you play open E, and then the 12th position harmonics. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that. I think it's a super nice tune. A tip for when you're practicing is that if you have a classical guitar, I would definitely try to play it on the classical guitar without the capo, of course, right? But I've been playing it on my classical guitar, and it sounds amazing. I don't know, like the richness of those chords in the lower register is just mind-blowing. So it's definitely something to try out. Again, if you need the tab, well, if you made it to here, you probably don't need the tab. But if you need the tab, it's on my Patreon page. There is a playlist with all my Mateus Asato tutorials, and there's many more coming in the future. Wishing you a great week or weekend, and hope to see you again sometime. Bye.